Hey, what's up, guys? Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, depending when you're watching this. But back at it again with another Neca figure review. I was initially going to do another Jason Voorhees figure review today, but then I thought let's change things up a little bit. It would have been the fourth Jason that I would have looked at on this channel. First was part 3, second part 7, and then kind of third and fourth was the Rebel Tech, and then the Retro Cloth part 5 Jason. So thought, if I do another Jason, I will get around to doing that figure, but I'll do it another day. For now, we're going to be looking, instead of part 2 Jason, we're going to be looking at part 2 Freddy. So this is the ultimate figure. Quite an old figure. He's not in the best condition, I'll admit. I got this figure back in early 2021. Got a bit of backstory about this guy. I remember my grandpa died, and this was a gift given to me just to kind of alleviate my sadness, I suppose I could say. So, because I was really sad about my grandpa gone, I was given this figure to kind of make me feel better. And yeah, that's basically the backstory behind this figure. So he's definitely, I wouldn't say that old, he's only about 5 years old. But yeah, he's definitely not in the best condition, especially with me being a lot younger, being a bit younger. But yeah, gonna be looking at part 2, Freddy's Revenge, Freddy. Let's get started. So here's the artwork. Got a bit of damage on the box here. I have no idea where this is from. I thought this was some like blue tack or something, or like paint or something that spilled on the box, but that actual damage to the box, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, unfortunately box isn't in the best condition. But you can see the really cool artwork. You can see Jesse here with his reflection, with him being kind of distorted, I guess, with like the Freddy glove, the side of his face being a skull, and it says the man of your dreams is back. And then you can see his girlfriend here as well. Forgot her name, it's been a while since I've seen this movie. But it's definitely good artwork for this film. Side of the box, it's always the same on both sides and pretty much on the top as well. Just the name of the movie, and really cool actually. You can see the background is the bus from the beginning of the movie. Bottom of the box, of course, tells you about the people who made it, and then here's the back of the box. Once again, carrying on with the school bus, which I really do like this. You can see all the different windows of the bus. You can see pictures of Freddy, and down below you can see the demon dogs, which is really cool. And then it says, it's been 5 years since Freddy Krueger tormented those helpless Elm Street teens with his razor glove and maniacal sense of humor, but he's back for revenge, with his sights set on another innocent victim he can torture and possess. So really cool. If I open, you can see a picture of the figure with the flame behind him, and then you can see the actual figure. As I've said, this is an old figure. He's been opened before. I just had him repackaged in the box. He's been kind of sat in here for, honestly, not that long. But yeah, I guess time to open him again. Lost the kind of shell that he was in, so he's just kind of in there loosely with all of his bits. But okay, that was smooth. All cool. Okay, I'll take the backdrop out as well, because it's always nice to have a look at the backdrop that came with him. There you go. It's the swimming pool. Oh no, upside down. So it's the swimming pool when he crashes that pool party, which is a great scene, by the way. That's when he's in kind of there in real life. He's not even in a dream, so everyone's actually seeing him for real. And if you do want to kind of recreate that, I mean, Freddy's really kind of blandly posed, as you can see, just kind of stood there. But if you do want Freddy posed pretty epically with this in the background, you can definitely do that. Let me just check I've got everything. So it says figure comes with 2 demon dogs, yep. Fire effect, yep. Hat and interchangeable heads and hands. Okay, cool, got everything. So here is part 2 Freddy. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is a pretty good movie. I'd say I think it's my third First being probably number 3. Then I go number 1, and then probably this one, and then 4th would be Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And in my opinion, those are really the 4 Freddy movies that are really that good, that are worth watching. I think number 4 is just, not that good. They kill off all the Dream Warriors. Number 5, did not like that movie at all. Number 6, honestly, I actually thought was quite good. Might be better than number 4. I'm actually not, no, I'd say number 4 is probably better than number 6. Because it does have that iconic scene where Freddy's at the beach. But number 6, I think is quite a good film. Not for its scary factor, just Freddy is really goofy in that one, and it's hilarious. And then the remake, I absolutely despise. I'm pretty sure everyone does. I know there's that guy, what's his name? Green Man 665, I believe his name is. He did a review of the remake Freddy, so if you want to check that out. Yeah, I can leave a link to his video there. Remake, no, I did not like that one. Neca did actually make a figure for the remake one, which I thought was great. Which is, as I'm talking about, the figure Green Man was reviewing. But it is part 2 Freddy. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of yapping about the Freddy movies. This is the kind of main thing of the video. As you can see, really cool. He's got this really pissed off facial expression. He's got his rotting teeth, as you can see, and he's got bags under his eyes. And he's got much smaller burns on this figure, and he's much more wrinkly than in part 1. You can see he's got the striped red and green jumper, which is really cool. They dirtied it up quite a bit on this figure. Actually, I wouldn't say dirty, but if you compare it to the other Freddys, they definitely made the colours a lot darker for the part 2 Freddy sweater. Down below you can see he's got the grey trousers. In the movie they were more brown, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I wouldn't say they're entirely accurate by giving him grey trousers, but they're still dark, so it doesn't really matter too much. And then you can see he's got the brown boots with the rings on them. The boots are very nicely detailed on this figure. Probably the most detailed boots on a Freddy figure, I think. At least a Freddy figure that I've got. The only Freddys I've got are, unfortunately, just the Ultimates. Well, the main Ultimates. There's part 1, part 2, part 3, those are the ones I've got. I don't know if the Wes Craven's New Nightmare and the NES Freddy, I don't even know if those count as Ultimates. I can't remember if the Wes Craven's New Nightmare one came with the Ultimate packaging or not. I really don't know, but I know he has the kind of Ultimate style articulation. And then NES Freddy, I guess, counts as an Ultimate because he has the packaging. But no, unfortunately I don't know those ones. And then of course there's all the clamshell figures of Freddy, which I would have gotten, but I haven't really used eBay until fairly recently. So a lot of the figures I've got all from Amazon. Because nowadays it's kind of, I use my dad's account to buy figures. My dad always hooks me up with eBay and I just pay him back in cash. Before, when it was my mum buying figures, she just despised eBay and always thought it was dodgy. So that's why I don't have any of the other Freddy figures other than the Ultimates. But I should definitely pick up probably a few more because yeah, I actually think Freddy's the best horror character. And you probably wouldn't think that. You'd probably think Jason looking at my collection because he's definitely the figure I've got most of. But here are the demon dogs. Looking great. I think this one's probably my favourite too. He's got all the boils on his face, as you can see. And I believe this dog body mold has been used in the past. I think they used it for like an Alien set. For like a dog from Alien or something. Can't exactly remember, but they've definitely taken this body mold of the dog from somewhere. If you really wanted to, you could probably use this body mold to make like a Chop custom. If you're a big fan of GTA 5 and you want to have Chop in scale with your 7-inch, 8-inch figures, this is probably a good mold to have if you do want to make or good body to use if you do want to make a chop custom. But these are the demon dogs. They're only in the movie for a really split second. They're in the movie for maybe a maximum of like, what, 10 seconds? They barely appear. When I first ever saw, when this figure got announced, and I first saw him with all of his accessories, I was always confused about what these dogs even were, because I did not remember them from the movie. But then I rewatched it, and then I realised, oh yeah, they are in the film just for barely any time. But these are the demon dogs. I'm not complaining, generally. I think these guys are epic, and they definitely make this figure, you know, one of the, like, they definitely make this Freddy want to get over the others. If you're finding out ways, you know, for which Freddy to get, this one's definitely worth getting for these guys. Other accessories he's comes with a flame here, which is really cool, and he has a magnet on his back. And I just attached this. Now, unfortunately, as I've said, this figure's an old figure. The magnet I don't even have anymore. I'm gonna have to resort in using blue tack. But what it would have been a magnet inside of his shirt, and the flame would have just clipped on like this. I've had to resort in using blue tack because unfortunately I bloody broke the figure's magnet, and I've lost it. Even if I broke it, I'd still be able to use it because it just tucks into his shirt. But fortunately, I've lost it. So if you do get this figure, do not make the same mistake as me. But there you go. Blue tack honestly does the job. Yeah, kind of on there fairly well. But there's the flame looking really cool. Can recreate that pool party scene. Here's the hat, by the way. Didn't show. This should have been the first accessory I showed. Quite a rough, beaten up looking hat. Fedora. There you go. You all are my children now. That is so cool. So there's the flame. Freddy also comes with an alternate hand. This is the non-gloved hand. I believe when he gives the glove to Jesse, that's when he results in using this kind of version of having the claws instead. I mean, it is a good way of displaying this figure. If you have quite a few Freddys and you want to kind of separate, if you kind of want to have things that kind of make the Freddy stand out above the others, that's definitely, you know, the hand you display him with. But the gloved hand does look great. Look at that. You can see it's got the gold up here, the bronze, and the claws are definitely good. I know I've seen with a lot of the Freddys, their like fingers are really warped and really kind of messed up and just kind of all over the place. But this figure, they're actually really well placed, not bent at all, not even in the slightest. And these do have kind of, they are rubbery. I heard from Green Man, I'm going to bring that guy up again. He told me, or didn't tell me in person, but from watching his other videos, he said that some of the older Freddys had much harder plastic, I believe it was, and that they can fall off really easily. But luckily with these figures, they give them more flimsy rubber kind of gloves, and definitely makes them less easy to break, with them still looking great. And I'm pretty grateful for these being as good looking as they are. And if you do want to swap the gloves out, hands, I mean, can do very easily. It is a ball joint. And there you go. There's Freddy with the kind of non-gloved human hand, which looks amazing. Freddy also comes with some alternate heads, some interchangeable heads. Comes with this one, you know, you've got the body, I've got the brain. You can see the brain exposed up here. Drop that there, which looks really nice. There you go. Really cool. He's also screaming as well. You can also use this as just like a generic screaming head because you can cover up the brain part with the hat. So if you do want Freddy just kind of roaring or kind of screaming or really pissed off, this is definitely the head to use. If you are kind of recreating, if you have the Freddy vs. Jason, and you, like something I always used to do is I always used to take this figure, put him like next to Jason, and just recreate the poster, because Freddy on the Freddy vs. Jason poster does have this kind of screaming expression. So I always used to use this figure with this head when I had him next to Jason. Nowadays he's not really on the shelf. I will definitely get this guy back up there though. He also comes with this head sculpt, another really pissed off one. And this is the kind of face he makes. I should have done the heads first and then do the flame. But this is the kind of face he makes at the pool party. He gets really pissed because what's her name? Jesse's girlfriend's like dad pulls up to the party with a rifle and like aims it at Freddy, and this is the face he makes with his really pissed off expression. That looks amazing. And I will show you again what it looks like with the flame. And there you go. That's really cool. Very, very cool. So, articulation, they always are pretty much the same with these Ultimate figures, but head's on a peg, looks down this much, looks up, arms rotate, just single bends, but it does the job. Hands move, same with both hands, yeah. And then torso moves around. You can get Freddy kicking upwards. You get him doing the splits. Bear in mind it does look bloody weird if you haven't done the splits. Like what's going on with his legs there? But if you want Freddy bloody doing that, I mean you can do. His legs are pretty posable. And then of course he's got foot articulation. So if you don't want Freddy bloody this foot backwards. And he also has like rotation here, which is great. So there you go, that is part 2 Freddy. Now I will say, I think with these Ultimate figures, something that does kind of piss me off with them is they can look kind of weird with their legs. And this is something, once again, I'm going to bring up the good YouTuber, guy that inspired me to do this, Mr. Green Man. He did mention that the legs do look a bit weird on these Ultimate figures, and I can honestly agree, especially with this Freddy. Now I've kind of got the legs, actually, yeah, I mean, they look good right now, but I've had times when I've had these guys displayed, their legs have looked really weird. And they might look fine, but if you do compare them with how the original release of this guy looked, I could definitely say I think the original one looked better in terms of how the legs are. I would still recommend this one instead though, because the Demon Dog's amazing, the Flame just amazing. Because the original release, if I'm right, I believe all you get is this. You get this, the screaming head, and then I guess the gloved hand. But with the Ultimate, you do get all the extras, and the Ultimate is definitely a lot more convenient for you to get. So definitely the Ultimate's the way to go. The retro cloth one I think is also a very nice looking one. I know not everyone's a fan of retro cloth, but even still, even for the retro cloth fans, I'd recommend this one as the one to get because of all the extra stuff. If they re-released this figure with like the original figure, but with these Ultimate accessories, that would be the one to get. If the retro cloth one had all these accessories, that one would probably be the one to get. But unfortunately, what in my opinion is actually the worst figure of part 2 Freddy turns out to be the one with all the accessories, which, yeah, kind of annoying. But I guess you still get the articulation. The articulation's not bad. I certainly think the articulation's amazing. because you know you can get him doing some pretty cool stuff. And I don't really do this so much now, but for someone who does like stop motion, this figure is definitely better to use because of all the articulation in him for stop motion. Quick comparisons. I'll just pause the camera for a sec while I get these out. And here he is next to the other Ultimate figures I've got. So these are all the Freddys I've got. Here you got part one. Probably not going to review these guys because honestly the condition of them is absolutely terrible. But yeah, here you go. Here he is next to all. It is all the Freddys I've got. And you can kind of see what I mean in terms of the burns being a lot kind of more smaller on the part 2 Freddy. As you can see, they're more open and he's got less wrinkles on his face. But yeah, less wrinkles on his face, but more open wounds from the burns. And then part 3 is kind of like a mix of both of them. He's got wrinkles and open burns, but the burns are definitely not as open as on the part 1 Freddy. So part 3 is kind of like a mixture of the both. He's also, of course, got the chest of souls. And something else I'll say actually is the glove on the part 2 Freddy. You see, it's got much bigger claws than on the part 1 Freddy. So that was interesting. Yeah, his claws are definitely a bit longer. That just fell off, but definitely a bit longer on the part 2 Freddy. So that's accurate to the film, you know, with the laser glove. Yeah, for these Freddy figures, they do reuse a lot of the same parts. The legs are the same for all 3 of them, and yeah, the arms, part 2, part 3 Freddy are the same. Part 1 is probably the most unique one of the 3 because he doesn't have the striped sleeves, and he also does have a different torso with the kind of different style burns on him. But there you go. I think my favourite one of the 3 is probably part 3 Freddy because that's what introduced me to collecting horror figures. He was the first figure I ever got from Neca. So definitely nostalgic reasons, he's the figure to get. I got that figure way back in 2017, so. But there you go. There is, that's the review of part 2 Freddy. If you do want to see more, actually, yeah, I mean, I am going to definitely review more figures. But yeah, definitely leave in the comments which figure you think I should review, what character, and that's the one I'll do next. But part 2 Freddy, could definitely recommend this guy. Demon dogs are great. The flame behind him, that's really cool. All the different heads, yeah, definitely a figure worth getting. Something I also want to mention, which I forgot to say, the box. I'm just kind of comparing it to the closest box I saw. If this is like a standard Neca box, this is the part 2 one. You can see it's a lot bigger. It comes with a much bigger box. Because there again, yeah, he's got these guys with him, the demon dogs. So definitely is that bigger box for the bigger stuff. But there you go, that's part 2 Freddy. Yeah, great figure. Definitely recommend him. See you in the next one, chaps.